Welcome to Fruitful Trees. Keep growing.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Fruitful Trees. And I just love getting up early and walking around and checking out my fruit trees and just thinking about what I have to do today in the garden. And one thing I realize is I don't have any citrus fruits. And it's something that kind of is interesting because I live here in Florida and people always think Florida is the best place to grow citrus. Well, it used to be, but because of various diseases on the tree or these bugs that get on the tree, it's not really a good environment to grow citrus anymore. So the city actually came in years ago and literally took citrus trees out of people's yards. But that was then and this is now. And now there's some new varieties that are uh, that do better in this environment. Some of them are resistant to some of the pests that bother the trees. And there's some new technologies of how to make the trees grow. And even some new trees where the leaves aren't as big, so things like Leafminer won't affect the trees. So I was at a nursery recently, and I decided I was looking at and talking about finger limes because I recently got a bunch of finger lime trees because the leaves are really small. And I heard that there are citrus that's able to do okay here in Florida. So I got some finger limes, and then somebody gave me another finger lime. Well, I was at a nursery recently, one of my favorite nurseries, Jack and the Beanstalk Nursery, and they grow citrus there, and they sell citrus. And they were telling me citrus does well here if you just follow some protocol. And they were explaining the protocol to me, and I thought it was so good. I thought I'd get it on film for anyone that's interested in growing citrus here in Florida. I'm in South Florida. You're gonna love this video, and I'm giving it a shot. Besides the finger limes that I had that I already got, I ended up getting two citrus trees. One of them is the original thing I was talking to Kathy about at Jack and the Beanstalk, and this is a lime tree. This is a Rica lime tree. I had one back there when I first moved in. I planted it. It was actually doing well, and I kind of regret taking it out because I finally did well with the citrus tree. But I remember talking to my friend Bob, and he said, I was asking about it. He says, "You're a grown man and you're growing citrus." And at the time, I kind of let that bother me, and I ended up taking it out, but I wish I didn't. Well, I'm trying to do it again. I got a lemon tree, a Rica lemon. And then the other one I got, she gave me, was the Sugar Bell Tangerine. And this Sugar Bell Tangerine, she says, is more resistant to a lot of the pests that typically bother citrus. So this is the one. She said you can grow any citrus here if you follow the protocol that she talks about in this video. But this is one she definitely recommends to start out with because it has some more resistance to some of the issues. She also told me to put this particular trap on here to get rid of some of the Leafminer and some of the other bugs and things like that. So I'm going to try it out. And again, there's a lot of nurseries here in South Florida. Some might have some citrus, but I think they have the most citrus of any tropical fruit tree nursery here in South Florida. I think if you want citrus, they definitely know what they're talking about, as you're going to see from today's video. If you want to grow citrus here in South Florida, definitely contact them and also listen to the advice that they're going to give in today's video. So check it out. Here it goes. Hello, everybody. Here we are at Jack and the Beanstalk Nursery. And this is Catherine, the owner here. And she has finger lime trees here. And now I hear citrus doesn't grow well here in Florida anymore, to people's surprise. But you're a nursery that grows a lot of citrus.
Yeah.
You have the finger lime. So first tell us about the finger lime, then tell us about other citrus and how it grows here.
Sure. Well, welcome guys.
Yes.
Welcome. This is Catherine from Jack and the Beanstalk. And guys, one of the things that you should know, Florida is one of the main producers of citrus. We've been afraid for many things and many reasons behind, about the conker, the leaf miners, and of course now the greening with citrus and afraid. I always say, if you're a new beginner, we'll help you, we teach you, because citrus require a little bit more attention. We always give you a pack. There are some new varieties nowadays that you don't have to take care as much as the other, and they are more resistant and tolerant to greening. So the finger lines is one of them. The finger lines, there are many varieties nowadays. The first one that actually was available is the giant. The giant one, as you probably saw in a previous video from Paul, is the bigger one rounded one, kind of fatter. It does give you definitely the caviar texture, but you get more juice. So if you're planning to use it as a regular line, you know, to make all your cooking part, is one of the best options because it will give you more flesh to actually use. But if not, also for, you know, for garnish your food.
And it's very productive.
It is very productive. One of the things that you should know about the finger lines is one of those lines that they don't need a pair to produce, but they all say you flowers like the first year, like 2 or 3 blooms, and then they don't say fruit, and that's normal. Don't get impatient. Second year, when it start actually setting flowers, it does produce by itself. You don't have to do many things. Because the leaves are small, when they get the leaf minors, they don't get as much affected like other citrus per se, because as I was explaining you, Paul, the leaf minors is actually is a mud. The mud actually give you a larvae under the leaves, and the larvae will suck all the energy, all the nutrition out of the leaf, and when that happens, then the leaf start curling. Right now we don't have that. The leaves, you could see a gray thing in there, and then the leaves start closing and curling. When that happens, they don't do photosynthesis because the plant stop actually is closed, so they don't open, and the plant it won't grow, it won't produce, it gets stunted. But because of these small leaves, they don't have much chance to really get affected by the leaf miner. Now, in terms of the greening part, there is a patent now. This being program that actually the University of Florida has been developing for years. They release it now. So this one, they have more tolerance to greening. So when they get the greening part, they will get the disease, but they won't develop the symptoms. Now, one of the things that you guys should know, because I know everybody when I say yellow leaves greening, leaf minors greening, everything is greening. No, everything is greening, guys. Greening, the only way to determine a greening is through the labs, just in case. You cannot say a plant is yellow, is greening. As a matter of fact, a tip that I would recommend you for you guys, if you like to grow citrus or you have citrus already at home, most citrus, they get yellow for 2 reasons. Too much water, which we have a lot through the year in the rainy season. So when it's a rainy season, you gotta slow down, back it up with the water, and make sure to dry before we put some more water. And the most important common one is the intake of nutrition. When you grow citrus, it's like you're growing blueberries, cherries, you know, you need to really acidify their soil. The pH that they like is more like between 6.5 to 6. So we have a very alkaline soil with the sun. Sometimes, in my case, I use well water, so it gets very alkaline. So we got A. So what we do, we acidify the soil for the citrus to make sure that they intake the nutrition that we put. They like to eat a lot, so the fertilizer that you choose, it has to have minerals. It has to have micronutrients, you know, iron, calcium, magnesium, in all the mineral pack along with your NPK. So basically, the acidification is something that you develop through the time too. It's something that you don't do it immediately, just in case. The acidification is something that you're gonna apply. There is different ways to do it, just in case. There is a liquid form, there is a powder form. We do it commercially using actually a dispersed sulfur, which is sulfur, is still organic actually. We spread it through the root ball basically, and it's gonna take about 6 months. We do it kind of like every month, a little by little, until they set up the right pH. One is set the right pH, you're gonna see the tree how it keep growing. You fertilize and the plants keep actually, you know, growing nice and healthy and green instead of being yellow, kind of abandoned. And it's not that you're neglect, it's not your fault, it's just it wasn't the right condition. Some plants, they like have different pH intake. The finger lines is not the only actually resilient or resistant to the greening. There is also a sugar bell. It's not an orange. People think that it's an orange, but it's a tangerine. The sugar bell is another variety that is also being improved to the USDA. So what they do, this is a new tangerine that you could enjoy with the bigger leaves, same thing, and it's more, like I said, gets the diseases, but it gets more resistant. If you don't have a space, guys, don't worry. Our citrus, they have a door rootstock, so you could keep it in pots. They grow about 8 to 10 feet, so it gives you the chance to really maintain it short.
What kind of rootstock did you say?
They have like 7 varieties of rootstock. All of them are numbers, just in case. But let's put it in simple terms. Most of them are between sour orange to grapefruits, but they have numbers. They have different type of numbers that you could actually see on the rootstock. So, but they are dwarf. So are semi.
Dwarf, okay.
Yeah, all of them are dwarf. Yes.
Okay.
So Basically, it's great for pots, it's for small spaces, and or you put it in the ground if you want to do it. That's, you know, and citrus, if you have a partial shade area, you see this area is kind of partial shade, they thrive in this partial shade.
Wonderful.
They do thrive in partial shade. If you have actually a pine tree nearby, they love, you know, the pines. Something that you could also use organically to acidify your soil, because remember, the mulch, it'll take time to you know, decompose and change the pH. Pine barks or even the pine needles, you could use it periodically so they could actually, you know, change the pH. The other thing to do it, if you have a oak tree nearby in your property, especially in this area, the oak tree actually protects it from the greening too. It does protection. As a matter of fact, they do oak tea with the leaves to help the plants to actually prevent the greening. That's another way to do it. Now we, as a nursery, that we have actually supervisions. So we have to use stuff like imidacloprid in this case, which we use systemically because it's a mandatory thing regulated by the USDA. But you guys at home, you want to keep organically for the leaf miners, you guys could get it's actually called pheromone traps for leaf miners, and it's like a tangle foot thing that you could tie it around your tree, and that will get actually the moths, you know, attack, and especially, you know, sterilize the
What do you mean you tie it to your tree?
It's like a little sticky thing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's like a tangle foot, you know.
Got
Like,
it.
you tie around the branches or the trunk, so that way they get attracted by the pheromone trap, and then that will eliminate the population of moths, and that moths, they won't produce the leaf miners.
So you should always have that on there.
Yes.
And I'll put a link below. You send me a link for
Sure.
that? Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Now,
for
can
that.
you spray anything for the greening?
No.
No, you can't
Because
spray.
the greening is a bacteria. And the bacteria is, right now they're doing actually a research on the lab with polymerized actually proteins that they doing something that you could inject to the trees, but it haven't been released. They're still in the studies. That they're gonna do is like an injection thing that they're gonna put to the trees to prevent the greening. So they still in the studies. It takes years, you know, to prove, trial and prove. But they're doing something like you asking me something. Yes, they're doing.
But all these citrus do fine in the pot.
All the citrus they do fine in the pot. But like I said, when you put it in the ground, you could do it in the ground. You gotta just make sure that acidify your soil, because otherwise they'll get yellow.
Is acidifying the soil in the pot the same thing as doing
Yes.
it in the ground? In
the ground, it's the same thing. You just gotta make sure to. One of the things that happen, most people, we tend to forget, and then we don't deweed. And
well, how often should they do that?
Okay, to make it simple, because we have a busy life, we gotta, you know, we got kids, we got stuff, so we gotta do a lot of stuff. So I always recommend people, okay, I'll give you the pack, you do it every 2 months or 3 months, which is the acidification, the fertilization, and the liquid for the leaf miners. You do it that every 2 or 3 months, everything together, so you don't forget, and you do it that, and then that way you can maintain the trees. The other thing is make sure when you have a chance, you know, keep it heavily mulch, so that way the weeds doesn't invade the you know, the area that the roots growing, because what happens is when that happens, they take all the nutrition of the plant, they change the pH, and things start getting you know, out of control.
Sure.
So plus the heavy mulch with the pine bark is also going to help at the end to acidify the tree. The other thing that people confuse on citrus, which you probably see this hanging there, and this is a good example on the trees. A lot of people think the citrus, they have like fungal problems or canker problems, and it's just the birds they're pecking. I want to show you a fruit. Sometimes it gets, this is example. Okay. So as the trees grows, you're gonna see your fruits, right, growing.
Okay.
Sometimes sorry, that one is gone, but doesn't have too many peckings here. Sometimes you're gonna see peckings, but they peck too much the birds, that they make like a brownish area, and they think it's canker. It's not, or they think it's green. It's not. It's just the birds that they come as they growing, they make holes, and if it punch through the skin, then the fruit is not gonna develop, and it's gonna drop, and it's gonna be hard. And then people think, oh, that's greening. No, it's just the birds. The only thing that you need to do is just put some deterrent birds on your trees.
Oh, wow.
That's the only thing that you need to do.
And send me a link where people can buy this
Yeah,
also.
sure.
I know
Absolutely.
it's inexpensive on Amazon.
Yeah.
So this is a tree here. What is this? This is
It's a tangerine.
tangerine. What size pot is that?
That's a 65 gallons.
65 gallon and
it's full of fruits right now.
it's full of fruits.
It's
Wow.
full of fruits all over.
And how much do you have to keep up potting, or is this pretty much the
Oh
biggest?
no, it's been in the pot probably the last 2 years, 3 years. That would be like kind of like the last container.
The last container.
Yes, we deal with a lot of landscapers, and people sometimes they wanted like 9 feet tall trees, 8 feet tall trees.
So do you cut this back every couple of years?
Yes, I actually before the blooming around December we cut it. We cut it. The branches when it fruits, the branches actually start getting brittle and dry. So
so give us an example. So you got this tree here. You said every 2 months you acidify the soil. Yep. And you put the things on. So give us an example what that's like. So what do you do?
Okay. So sorry that we haven't dealt this.
Sure.
But you see these palletized little yellow things? Yeah. That's the dispersed sulfur. The green balls, of course, is the fertilizer that we use.
Okay.
It's kind of commercial, but we have it available for the nurseries. So people who buy it from us. So a lot of people, they always ask for the green balls. It's just a brand. It's called Harrow's. But it has a really nice formula. The citrus, they like very, very high number, like 18, 12, 16. So it's a very high number that they use. So we use it, and Eliza take all the nutrition, and the trees, they love it. Now, one of the things that people also get afraid about citrus is because of the thorns and the kids.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. There are few varieties that they have less thorn, like tangerines or kumquats and stuff like that. They actually, sorry about that. They like that. They have few thorns for kids especially. There are few varieties. Sometimes we got the thornless lines to available. That's one of those things that I know is also,
So every few months you put that in there.
Yes, every 2 or 3 months at the most. I try to actually keep it up.
And can we put a link below the video to the sulfur and also
I'll put a link. Everything it's hard to find those on Amazon. They don't sell that.
Well, give me the name at least.
Yeah, I'll put the name on both. I'll give you the name on both.
So you do that, and what else do you do every 2 months?
In my case, I had to put the imidacloprid.
Yeah, but you're commercial. But for a homegrown,
for homeowners, you guys could use the pheromone traps.
And you will put the link below to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the pheromone traps at home, you could do that. And in some places, have you ever heard about this theory that they're actually growing now, which is place copper wire around the trees?
I heard something like that. Yeah.
It does help.
It does. Okay.
It does help. I do have a customer who literally has a house here in the Bahamas, and he probably have about 70 citrus between here and the house from Bahamas, and he does that. And he showed me. He says, I don't put anything. I mean, fertilizer, of course, the fertilizer, but I don't put any pesticides or nothing. And he showed me the pictures, and it works for him.
And how does he do it around it? He just puts the copper around the trees?
He just put poles with copper wire, like in some areas nearby the trees.
Do you have a picture that he sent you?
Yes.
Show me and I'll put it in the video.
Yeah.
So people can see what it looks like.
What it looks like, yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Just don't get afraid, guys. I always say, if you like it, we'll help it. We'll teach you. If you're a beginner, maybe it might be difficult at the beginning, but we're here to help you anyways.
So show us some citrus. You got key lime there, big key lime. And these are all for sale, everybody, here. Yeah. The link's below.
Yeah, we got key limes, we got Persian limes, we got kaffir limes, which is a citrus that they use it for cooking. The leaves, they are like number 8. They use it in the Asian cuisine for cooking. But it also gives you a fruit. It's kind of wrinkly.
Now, how long for a tree that size to get to this size?
That's a 4-year-old tree.
4-year-old, that's 4 years old.
This is 2 years old.
2 years old,
2
okay.
years old. So from that, couple years from here.
So you got the limes, and then here's some lemons you have.
Yeah, we got Eureka, which is one of the most productive ones that we have it available, and it's a regular size, and it produces kind of year-round. Bears is rounded. It comes from Italy. When it's green, you could use it as a lime. When it's yellow, you could use it as a lemon. So if you don't have a space, it's kind of perfect, situation. For somebody who doesn't have a space. The sweet sambucan literally has this pear shape, and it's sweet. It tastes like a sweet lemonade.
Oh wow.
So you could do a lemonade without sugar. Directly. The Castile line is for cooking, as I mentioned before. Persian line is one of the most biggest lines for retail that you buy it. But I was explaining you, Paul, citrus, they do actually in Florida. They have every state has a patent. Florida, Texas, Arizona, California. They have the patents. So the ones that we produce here locally, the fruits are way bigger. So Eureka in the store is probably about this size. Here is more like an inch bigger. Same thing with the Myers, it's the double size. So we have Myers. Myers from Florida is the size of a grapefruit, just in case.
Oh wow.
It's really big, so it takes longer to ripe. So the finger lines that you guys saw.
And you have the giant finger lines, but you also have the new red one.
Red ones, yes. We got the
Wow.
red ones too.
I just did a video about these. These are
Yeah.
the new red ones,
Yeah.
and wow, they're delicious. Okay.
Conquest. Conquest is good for kids too. Doesn't have thorns and it fruits you around and you could eat it with all the skin. Clementine, the little cuties, easy to peel. Pumpkin is one of the medium sizes. It has seeds though. Some they have seeds, some they don't have seeds. Shuranayu is very popular in the store. It's one of the biggest tangerines.
Oh, sumo. Those are sumos.
Those
Oh,
are
I
the
love
sumo.
those. Those are great.
So sumos comes from pumpkin and de pecan. It's a hybrid. So the fruit you probably saw is like a grapefruit.
Oh, I eat it all the time. It's
Yes.
great. It's expensive, but it's the best citrus.
Yeah. So
And it grows well down here.
it grows well. It just needs to be bigger. Meaning like it won't really hold fruit until it's 25 gallons, until it's 4-year-old tree. So meaning like the stem needs to be over an inch in diameter to be able to
Does
hold
the tree get bigger too?
No, 8 feet.
8 feet. But is it well productive? Or?
It is productive.
So if that's in a 25-gallon, 4-year-old, how many fruit can you get during each season if you take care of the tree?
When it gets, I would say at the beginning, you're probably going to have 10. And then as it gets older and more branchy, you easily could harvest 50 out of the tree.
Wow.
Because they're super big. They are super big. If it was a line lemon, I would say hundreds. But this one, no. This one needs to be, it won't produce because of the size as many. Sugar Bell.
And you could leave those in a pot full time?
Full time, yep.
Okay.
Sugar Bell is another ingredient resistant that we talked before. The Dancy is very sweet. It has some seeds, but it's one of the most sweetest one. The Dancy and the Murco one is green when it's not fully ripe. It's still sweet. So it's a very sweet tangerine and it's very productive. Satsuma is a very easy to peel. Sometimes you feel kind of...
Now, what's this between the Satsuma and the Sumo? Because...
Size-wise.
Size-wise.
Size-wise. Satsuma, it gets about this size, like a lemon. And Sumo, it gets about the size of a grapefruit.
Okay.
Size-wise. But also, Satsuma has less acidity, I would say. I was actually growing with Satsuma, so it has a little less acidity, I would say. But it's size, mainly size.
So this will hold fruit sooner because it's smaller?
Oh, yes. Yes. I would say in a year, before we have some fruit.
So Satsuma and Sumo, they're two different. Okay.
They're two different. Both are Japanese.
Okay.
These originally are from Japan.
Okay.
Indian Palestine lime is the size of an orange. It's yellow, but it's sweet. Even though it's a lime, it's sweet. You could eat it and it smells like the kaffir lime. It has this particularly... Oh no, you probably, when you crunch a leaf, that's another thing that you guys should know. When you actually smell the leaves, it gives you the flavor of the fruit.
Wow.
Citrus, sometimes you lose the label and you don't know what it is. Just grab a leaf, crunch it and smell it, and it will give you the smell of the fruit.
Wow.
So that's another way to recognize also your citrus. Ruby red grapefruit, very popular, seedless. But we also have a pomelo. Pomelo, it looks like this. It's super big.
Really big.
The difference with the grapefruit and pomelos, both are... This is an Asian grapefruit. The pomelo doesn't have the aftertaste of the grapefruit.
Okay.
The grapefruit they always give a kind of...
And pomelo's big. You could still grow them in a pot?
You could still grow in a pot.
Wow.
Same thing like sumo. They are kind of in that same ballpark of bigness. So you could still grow in the pot. As a matter of fact, I'll show you one pomelo that we have full of pomelos in there. Sour orange for cooking. To do your mojito thing.
Sure.
And we do also have blood oranges. We got some... the blood oranges, the Moro, the Sanguinelli, and the Toroco, they are red outside and red inside when you cut it. Red Nebo is in the same part of the blood oranges, but this is more like a pink inside. And we also have Honeybell and Tempo. The Honeybell, it does need a pair. So you need to have a tangerine that is not a hybrid.
Okay, so everything else is self-pollinating.
Self-pollinating. So when you need something, I try not to bring varieties that you need a pair, but Honeybell is so popular
Okay.
that I had to bring it.
Okay.
So Honeybell, when somebody wants Honeybell, I had to advise to take a tangerine. But there is an option that is called Temple or Organic Tango Orange. That one is from the islands, from Jamaica, from that.
Okay.
It tastes like Honeybell. It does not require
Okay.
second pair to pollinate. Navel is one of the most, commercial popular varieties along with Valencia. All of them, that would be like the first,
What about Cara?
Cara. That's a red navel.
Oh, that's the red navel.
That's a red
Okay.
navel. Cara
Okay.
is red navel. Yeah. Cara has a very low acidity. It belongs to the blood orange family. So the blood oranges, the Sanguinelli, Torocco, they have their own flavor. The Moro, for example, has this raspberry flavor with the orange.
Sure.
And so people who grew up literally, in Europe, they are used to sweet blood oranges. Something that is kind of bring here to the attention, and people start getting used to. And the most popular one now available is Cara.
Yeah.
But we do grow the others varieties.
And you sell a lot of citrus, but you've been selling citrus. You're only
Yes.
one of the nurseries that sells citrus in Florida.
Yeah, few nurseries they do get along with citrus because, like I say, it has a trick. I'm sharing the tips that I'm using, for you guys to use it at home. But citrus require more maintenance. Therefore, nurseries, when they have a citrus, they get more inspections. Like you only sell regular trees, you only get inspected once a year. But tropicals. But when you sell citrus, they come every 2 months to inspect us.
Wow.
The reason behind is because when the canker appeared in the 90s, almost wiped out the industry. And what happened is that the Department of Agriculture decided to get involved, and they say, okay, guys, now we gotta make sure that all the trees are clean, healthy before it gets home. So in the people who propagate it, they actually inspect that in a monthly basis, and the retailers, nurseries, we get inspection every 2 months. And of course, they don't come to just inspect citrus; they come and inspect
Sure.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you had to be up to date with your chemicals. You had to be up to date, to maintain your trees and everything. So people don't wanna, because it's
Sure.
more maintenance and more
So
money at the end.
somebody that's growing it in a pot versus the ground, how often? Let's say you get this tree here. How often do you water that in the pot?
Okay, I always say, you guys use common sense. The plants need to be moist. Citrus is kind of drought resistant, just in case. The time that we water more is in the drought season and in the blooming season. So right now we are watering daily because
It's
we're
a dry
back to the
season.
80s.
Yeah.
80s, almost 90s some days, and no rain. So we want to keep it moist. Plus, I have irrigation everybody set up to the same. That's one. But when it gets a rainy season, I would say 3 times a week is more than enough. Or sometimes even twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah, because they don't require. In winter, we do it like 3 times a week tops, really.
Okay.
It's just only 3 months that we have to do it kind of daily when it's a drought period. No
Okay.
rain. That's one thing. But like I say, use your common sense. It's very, very important. Touch it. If it's still moist, then need water. I could probably skip water tonight, but because I have bananas and other stuff,
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
to put the water.
Wow.
But yeah, just use common sense. That's the most important thing.
And they like mulch.
They like mulch. They definitely
Wow.
like mulch.
All
Just
right.
don't smother the trees when you mulch it. So a lot of people, they mulch and I see that they put it all the way to the trunk.
Yeah, no.
No.
You can smother bananas, but not citrus.
No fruit trees.
But bananas you
Bananas,
can.
yeah, bananas you could do it. But
Yeah.
because bananas, they don't have a trunk. It's herbaceous.
What about manure? Do they like animal manure, the citrus?
No, I
No?
would not recommend that. For the
Okay.
same reason, on top dressing, you could do that. That's okay, but not for planting. Because remember, citrus seeds, they don't like to retain water. So if you put manure or compost in their planting
No, I
pot-
mean on top.
on top, yeah. Yeah,
It's
you could do
good?
that. Yeah,
It's good?
Of course.
Okay.
Because remember, manure and compost, the NPK 0.5, 0.5, 1. So it's very little. So if you want to add it, they'll be happy. As much food that you want to give it to them.
Sure.
They'll
Wow.
be happy with that.
And
extra
for
food that you give
people
it.
that are looking, I know you sell online. Do you ship online as well?
No yet. Not yet.
Okay.
People are coming and picking their stuff when it's
Okay.
out of
So
state.
you're on Lock the Hatchery. I'm going to put your address below and your website below. How much, tell us the sizes and the prices of your
Okay,
citrus.
we usually start from 3 gallons. Just right now, I'm out of stock completely out of 3 gallons, but we started 3 gallons at 40. 7 gallons are 80. 15 gallons some that we are actually bringing from the bag is 160, and then these big ones, the $25 are 300, which will be more like a tree like size.
So these big ones, say that again, the truck came by. What were you saying?
Oh, those big ones are 300.
300 for the
yeah,
big
but
one.
this is more like an adult tree where you can see, you know.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
Look at
they're
that,
already,
everybody.
Yeah, they have, you know,
Wow.
that's a pomelo.
Wow, and with your help, everyone could do this in a pot in their own house. And how often do you cut these trees?
I only cut it when, of course, you know, it's finished the production. I don't retain trees too much time. You'll be surprised. Probably my rotation period is less than 6 months. So when they sometimes, you know, some branches get, you know, dried up, I light trim, even though it's flowering. I do light trimming. I do light trimming if it breaks a branch, but you should do it when it's right after the harvest. You should actually give a haircut. At least why? Because they're adult. They don't need too much haircut.
And they fruit once a year?
Depends on the varieties. Limes and lemons, the majority they'll give you between 3 to even up to 4 or 5 crops. Let's say key limes is a year-round thing. Lime one, year-round thing. Eureka, year-round thing. But then they say Meyer 2 or 3 times. Kumquats, calamondi, year-round.
Now,
oranges, some twice, some once. Temples, temples, honeybells, they do it twice a year. Same thing on tangerines, twice a year.
Now, if somebody had a tree in a pot this size and it was doing fine, but they want to put it in the ground, what would you tell them?
It's okay. You just need to, any big tree, and that goes for any big tree really. When you take it out of the pot, you're going to see probably this kind of root bounded. Gotta make sure to untangle. We do a light root pruning, where when you do the external roots, not the main ones, the external root, you could actually cut it just a little bit, 1 inch, to stimulate the growth. A light pruning, and then you put it in the ground. Make sure to water. You know, use a drainageable mix. So either your potting mix or your garden mix, but it has to be very drainageable. And you could use some peat moss in your mix. That would be great to acidify your soil.
So if they're root bound, you could still save them by when you take it out, cutting the roots a little.
Yes.
A little.
Yes.
Do you cut them that are going all the way around, or just the ends, or you cut them so they're not going around?
I try to first untangle it a little bit, and then I do the root pruning and the part that I untangle.
All right, we'll come back for another video on that.
Oh, yeah.
So the last question here is, you said these could take partial shade?
Oh yes, they do. They do. As a matter of fact, because of my bananas and the palms, plus I need some shade for my ornamentals. So they've been handling probably 6 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
all right.
Right now they're in a partial shade. It's like this area, the big ones, but the little ones, they've been in a partial shade, and they're okay.
Well, we're going to put the links below, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll put all the links below, and come on out here to Jack and the Beanstalk Nursery. Besides the citrus, they have amazing other selections, ornamentals. They have just a tremendous amount of variety of fruit, everything from 3 gallons to 25 gallon and 65 gallons. Thank you so much, Catherine, for your service.
Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you learned a little bit.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
I'm so excited about growing citrus, and I am going to leave them in a pot and see how they do. I'm going to follow her advice. Jack and the Beanstalk Nursery, I'm going to put their link below. They have a tremendous amount of citrus, as you saw in the video. And here is some of the finger limes I got. I got these from Zane's World. These are the new varieties by the University of Florida. This is a sun variety, and I have the red variety. And also Nick from Nick's nursery up in Orlando brought me the giant variety. So I got citrus growing here in these the finger limes, and you see the leaves are much smaller on the red finger limes. So we'll see how they do. We'll see how they do here. And then I got the bigger ones that I showed you at the beginning of the video. I'm going to put the link below to Jack and the Beanstalk Nursery. Check them out. And they also have finger lime as well. And they just got a whole bunch of amount of citrus. They're wonderful. So check them out. And yeah, that's what we got growing on here. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm excited about citrus. And I don't have any more room in the ground, so I don't have any choice but to grow in pots. So I hope I'm successful as Kathy is at Jack and the Beanstalk Nursery. All right, everybody. Are you growing citrus in Florida? And how's it going for you? Let me know. Put your comments below what you're doing to successfully grow citrus in Florida if you are. And even some mistakes you've made in the past so we don't make them again. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great day and keep growing.
For more educational videos about mangoes and other fruits and how to grow fruit trees, please look out the other videos on this channel, Fruitful Trees, and also subscribe if you like, and also share these videos with others. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and keep growing.